Listen, no matter how undeveloped or primitive or bad any African country is, I can almost tell that upon a day, it doesn't matter how long, most African countries would begin to elevate to development, except Nigeria. Here is something you really need to know. We did not install the present Nigerian president through voting system. Yes, a number of people might say this. We did not install the present Nigerian president through our votes.
South Africa gave me 80,000 followers.
If you don't understand the title of this video, the chief of the defense staff of Nigeria was denied Canadian visa. What? Like, and then this happened.
Thank you for the courage to say that Canada denied you. They can go to hell.
I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land because he's never been here. And he must keep his America. We will keep our South Africa.
Hi, my kings and queens. Welcome back to another interesting, intriguing, juicy, educative, and I think more interactive episode. Guys, we are heading somewhere. Like, gradually we are progressing, and who would ever have known that by this present day and time, like as of today, since the emergence of Donald Trump, so many things will really take a shift, like a very drastic shift in the continent of Africa with other countries. Guys, a lot is going on that I think we need to address, we need to talk about. And first off, I want to say welcome to another episode of Saying It right here, just the way it is, without emotion, sentiment, bias. Yes, each and every one of us cut across different countries, coming here to sit down amidst our challenges, our colors, our differences, our problems, right? We just say it the way it is. Now, guys, at this point, if you're yet to like this video, I oblige. Just kindly hit on the like button, share and subscribe, and grab your cup of tea, popcorn, whatsoever you find interesting. And let's quickly delve into this episode. First off, I would love to address a video clip I stumbled upon, right, of the guy I featured his video. I think someone brought to my knowledge that he's a Cameroonian. Shout out, no shades to that. But I really wanted to talk about how South Africans came through for him when he came out openly to apologize, realizing his mistakes, his errors, and how South Africans came through for him.
South Africa gave me 80,000 followers. They say South Africans create who they want to create and they destroy who they want to destroy. South Africans have a percentage of 69.8% of my 80,000 followers. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? It is very true. They say South Africans create who they want to create and they destroy who they want to destroy. When you are good, they love you, they stand by you, they are with you. When you say you want to be a stubborn kid, they will treat you like a stubborn kid. They like people who are accountable. They like people who show them love. Look at this. 69%. That's like roughly 70%. South Africa.
All right. Well done, and thank you so much, each and every one of you, my amazing South Africans. It means definitely by the time I want to take out an experiment on this channel, you already know what the result will be. Mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Like I said yesterday, that you guys didn't take quite a long time, like not even up to hours, to show and prove to me whom you truly are. Like I always say, I read through the lines and understand people so easily. It's a gift, right? The moment I came in contact of South Africans, the whole story changed, and my mindset, my perception towards South Africans immediately changed. Not because of what I would say happened, but because I found out people who understood my personality, who really believe that not all Nigerians are the same, and who see life from a different angle, a different mirror altogether. Like, you guys gave me every reason to see that I am normal, I am okay, because like I said, I share similarities somehow, somewhat with South Africans in character, in learning, in reasoning and understanding. So it's not strange. But to find out that what people think and assume about you people is totally a different ball game altogether. I wish at this point most Nigerians can really come together, calm down, and understand South Africans, but that's not why we're here, okay? Be that as it may, once again, thank you. I truly appreciate all your love for this guy. It truly shows that at the end of the day, what I always say, South Africans will stand for you when it is right, when you are on the path of truth. We will deliberate more on that. Chimdi will do that. And at the end of the day as well, if you are criminally minded, negative, and you commit crime, disrespect and disregard them, they will actually show you truly whom they are. Now, that aside, a lot is going on and we'll take them bit by bit. First off, you remember the previous video I put out here based off my sister Adiola's reaction and exposition. I think a brief history of where South Africans are coming from, and it didn't just end there. The end part of it was the fact that the US government, in the person of Trump, was actually trying to see every means whatsoever to get on South Africans, not just South Africans, but some other countries are feeling the heat. Before we get to that, before we get to the actions and reactions of South Africans towards Trump, the point is, nobody expected that what is happening in the world today based on the USAID. If you don't know what that is a means where it's been a long time coming. The US, and not just the US, so many other countries do really grant aid and support in form of finance, in form of drugs and other things, exactly, distributed, exchanged with most African countries. Exactly. At some point, so many countries, particularly my dear country Nigeria, is so indebted with the aid, like indebted and addicted to the aid they get from US, and not just the US, so many other countries. Like, you will get to find out that, more of that as well in the course of this video. So it's a juicy one. You don't want to be left out. Kindly, patiently watch till the end, because I will be backing everything up with facts and figures, right? And now the thing is, as I was saying, Trump actually tried several means to see how he could indict and, trigger South Africans, but South Africans as citizens and as president did not take it lightly. Like, they were not scared like other countries, my country Nigeria, to really think and bother about what the outcome, like the challenges as a result of stopping it, will really take on them as a tool. They were really not having it the way Trump came in for them, and this was how the president reacted.
US president to see that white people are being prosecuted.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. They're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
But the South African situation is very dangerous and very bad for a lot of people.
So did Trump know about the apartheid when it was happening? Of course, yes, of course he does. Did he help the South Africans at the time? Not that I'm aware of. But what I do know is, after Mandela was released and he was trying to visit the US as part of a war tour, his people contacted Trump because he had an airline at the time, and he charged them $130,000 to fly Mandela and his team, which is okay. It's business, Could he have done it for free? Of course, but nobody is even asking him to do it for free. That's not even the issue. The issue is, during an interview before election day, someone asked him about it. They said, "Oh, you helped Mandela with your plane," and he said, "Yes, I did, because I like helping people and I don't like talking about it." Like, he did not say he collected money, $130,000 to be precise. How do you forget that kind of detail?
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his sisters were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah. I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up.
Guys, by the way, when they contacted him, they asked to use his private jet. They actually wanted to use his private jet, and he said that his private jet was being serviced. So then he offered them a commercial plane and charged them $130,000. But the most painful thing was hearing his personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, in his book reveal that Trump actually never liked Mandela. That he said Mandela effed up the whole country. Now it's a shithole. He quoted Trump saying, "F Mandela, he was no leader." And I remember that time South Africans were so upset, like, who the hell are you? Like, what the heck? Can you imagine? So of course he knew about the apartheid when it was going on. Okay, enough of the history lesson. Let's get back to him threatening South Africa. This was the response of South African president, by the way, when Trump threatened them.
I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land, because he's never been here. And he must keep his America, we will keep our South Africa. That's what he must do. Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. He must leave us alone. Stay out of our issues.
Who's not Africans? Other Africans that are not from South Africa, please tell me, can your president speak to Trump like that? Like, testify in the comment section. Me, I'm very sure that Alaji will even say more. Then Nigerians, let me know in the comment section, why are some of you laughing? Only for Trump to end all funds to South Africa. Can you imagine? And he didn't stop there. He signed an executive order to resettle white South African farmers in the US. I mean, he's he's offering asylum to all white people in South Africa to come and be refugees in America because they are being persecuted. Which brings me back to the beginning of this video. Imagine my shock when some of them said no to Trump. I was like, that they were not interested. I said, no, I would not accept that. Like, watch this.
Yeah, why would you want to go? There hasn't been any really bad taking over of land. The people are carrying on like normal. And, what are you going to do over there?
And he had this to say about Trump cutting off aid to his country.
We all know how Mr. Trump behaves, so it's not, why should it do that? It has been spiteful.
No, I'm not a refugee. Me, I come from South Africa. I'm an indigenous from here. Yeah, I'll maybe go take a holiday there, but I won't go to stay there. Our government is very good to us. They actually just fixed our road, and that actually boosts our business, because now there's going to be more people buying chickens from us and eggs and also pig meat and so on.
We have to state categorically, we don't want to move elsewhere. We might disagree with the ANC, but we love the country.
There's major conflicts in many other countries of the world that actually deserve an asylum better than what we do in South Africa.
The government in South Africa is persecuting Afrikaners community.
I think they should stop spreading lies and propaganda, because it's all fake news.
And after this reaction, it didn't end there. So many South African citizens constantly back to back capitalized and really addressed it in a way that I really love, because they proved to not just myself, but so many African countries that they are civil, they are developed, and they are thriving, regardless of their loopholes, their challenges, and their shortcomings. Unlike my country, Nigeria. Remember, anything I'm saying is not definitely to demarcate any country, but just saying it the way it is. Why do I say so? I say so because if you actually want to know countries in Africa that are developed, yes, and are thriving, there are so many factors and there are so many systems that are supposed to be put in place and put in check to really understand and figure out if a country is doing well for his or herself and thriving, right? And South Africa seemed to definitely pose and stand out as that country among some other countries, okay? But as a case study here, South Africans did not just prove to me that they are thriving. Their actions and inaction prove that, because already where they are at today in the world is in a position where their system is working. How is their system working? Someone left me a comment in my yesterday's video and it drew me back to the memory lane. It made me sit down and think, and I was like, it was also an eye-opener to me, because I did not pay attention to this part of South Africans. I actually thought, as usual, it is something like what we have in Nigeria. Point of correction, do not judge most Nigerians when you see the way most of us act and behave, and the reason why most of us run outside to other countries, particularly in Africa, South Africa. I'm going to break it down and tell you and expose to you why it is like that. Now, let me read out this comment first and foremost. Wait, it's from one of my subscribers. He says, this woman. I think I pinned that comment. You can check it out in the last video. He said, this woman, you remind me of Pastor Chris Oyakilome, the popular pastor. When he came to South Africa, he said, if you don't like South Africans, go back home. I made peace with the fact that the level of governance in Nigeria created hustlers. It created drug dealers, thieves. They don't know the right or wrong, hence they protect crime. Identity theft means that life is ruined, and I can promise you Chidima's mother will be arrested for a long time. Okay, let me stop here. The point I wanted to get here is get bank loans like AIDS and whatnot. Like, this is not the first time I've come across comments like this that, identifies the fact that South Africans have a civil way of living. Like, if you are from an average or poor family background, they have system that is catering for them, just like what we have similar in the Western British countries, right? which is a yardstick you use to really rate a country that is working and working effectively well. Secondly, good medical facilities, like free is what South Africans and even foreigners experience. But in Nigeria, we don't even have quality health medical facilities. Talk more of it being free. Like, even with the money, you've heard Chimdi say that, even with your money, you are not assured of quality and well refined fortified medical services, even with the high bills you pay. Like the laxity, the loopholes in the system of our medical facilities right here in Nigeria is little to nothing to write home about. Now you get to the educational system. In recent times, I've done a series of videos where I talk about the best educational universities, educational system, schools in Africa. South Africa topped about 3 schools as number 1, right? I think number 1, number 2 in Africa. Can you beat that? Now, that is for education. Free. Like almost free, if not free, similar to what we have in Ghana. Now again, you go on to so many of their cultures, you go on to their government, their leaders. It's a country where since after apartheid, the independence and emergence of their leaders, they have a voice. They practice the real core democracy where the people's voice are being heard and listened to, regardless of the shortcomings. It can never be perfect, right? But that aside, the point is they have a good working system compared to what we have in the Western European and British country. But if you liken that to Nigeria, the margin is very different. Like our system, like we literally don't have a system, and that is what is affecting a lot of areas, a lot of issues, a lot of things that are not working effectively well. We talk about the issue of corruption. Why will corruption not excel? Why will corruption not sell when there are no working system? Education is little to nothing. Good medical facility. Let's not go into Christianity and all that, right? But at least the major amenities, basic amenities that the leaders, government is supposed to provide for her citizens is little to nothing to write home about. Google that and research on that. You will definitely attest to what I'm saying. And as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, I can beat my chest and tell you that. Now, that aside, to add to what I'm saying, I think the Chief Army of Staff, right, was denied visa, Canadian visa, as a result of what I am telling you, to prove how bad and deteriorated our non-working system actually is affecting us. Let's take a look at this clip, and Chimdi will really tell us better. Then I will come back and summarize.
If you don't understand the title of this video, the Chief of the Defense Staff of Nigeria was denied Canadian visa. What? Like, and then this happened.
Thank you for the courage to say that Canada denied you. They can go to hell.
First of all, this thing paying. You really paying me? Actually, he said it. He said it's painful.
Even though it's painful, it's disrespectful, but we are people. We are strong.
You see, normally when I'm drinking my tea, I don't like to talk. I just want to drink my tea in peace. But now that he said to hell with Uncle Ibadu, how do you say to hell with a country that you are collecting aid from? Make it make sense. Like 2022 to 2023 alone, Canada gave us 277 million Canadian dollars. That is about 200 million American dollars as development assistance to Nigeria. And we collected them. You collected the money, Uncle. You are putting up a front of, oh, we don't need Canada. So like, I beg, you go and sit down, several seats. So you know, everything else you said was wonderful.
And I agree with you. We have to fix our country.
Everything else you said was wonderful, that we need to develop our country. But I was also shocked that you are still talking about we need to. So you guys have not started. What have you been doing? All these years that we've been begging you to develop Nigeria, you did not. You see your life.
This disrespect is too much.
I don't think that you've been disrespected enough. Oh, no, I think if you have actually been disrespected enough, you will do the right thing. And we're not even saying that you have to do everything at once. Like, if you can just take one thing at a time and just focus on that one thing. If it is road that you guys want to work on, we don't even care if you take an entire year to work on roads. We just want to be able to see a difference between January and December. Like, now we have roads. So, and if it will be electricity that you guys want to work on, take an entire year to work on electricity. By the way, this is a friendly reminder to Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do not forget that Alhaji made a promise when he was campaigning. He made a promise to Nigerians. He said if he doesn't fix electricity in his first tenure, that Nigerians should vote him out. They should kick him out.
You must have electricity. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I don't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
Thank you very much. Alaji said, Bagwe, have you forgotten? So we are not saying that you should fix the country at a time. Just take one thing and work on it. I don't know how long it will take you guys to work on this thing. Also, who were those people that were clapping?
Canada denied you. They can go to hell.
What was that about? Why were they clapping? Is it today that Canada has been denying Nigerians visas? No. First of all, Uncle, do you know how many thousands of Nigerians have been denied Canadian visas? Why did you not to hell with Canada when other people are denied? Is it because it is the chief of defense staff that was denied? Are some people more important than that? I'm just wondering. I know he's a government official, but so many Nigerians will tell you they should be denying all these big people. Maybe it will force them to fix our country. So, Uncle, it's not today that Canada has been denying visa. And you know the one that is paining me, Uncle Ribadi, do you know that America also denied Nigerians visas? You did not know. They do every day. When are you going to hell with America? Are you not going to hell with America? You cannot be selective because America is also denying your citizens visa. But Uncle, instead of you lashing out at Canada saying to hell with Canada, why don't we do things the right way? Because now we are finding out that there were some things they were supposed to do when they submitted their application that they did not.
Some revelations have emerged. Part of what we're hearing is perhaps the procedure for applying for the visa was faulty. Normally, in relations between governments, there is a note verbal which the Ministry of Foreign Affairs would usually write on behalf of a subsisting MDA when they are approaching an embassy. In this regard, that note verbal was not accompanied.
You see? And we're already saying to hell with Canada when all we needed to do was do things the right way. I beg, Uncle, don't let me enjoy my cup of tea.
Here is something you really need to know. We did not install the present Nigerian president through voting system. Yes, a number of people might say this. We did not install the present Nigerian president through our votes. A lot of people might say this. But the truth is that we all installed the present Nigerian president through the type of people that we breed in our society. Our society has become a society that breeds criminals. Look around you and see the type of people that we breed in our society. Now, one thing you have to know is that P2B is an anomaly. P2B, the existence of P2B is an abnormal existence. Well, in the defense of the old generation or his generation, the society hadn't been into breeding as much criminals as they do today. So before you truly open your mouth to say it wasn't our voting system that installed this person, it wasn't us that installed this person, understand the kind of people that our society breeds and tell me how or where the society can bring a person that is sane enough to govern this society or govern this nation. I mean, ask yourself that question. Do we really think about this? Look around you and look out for the people that we breed. And by breeding, I mean motivate, associate, encourage, praise, acknowledge, relate with, engage with. You know, these are the people that we breed. The people we clap for, the people we applaud, the people that we admire, the people that we associate. These are in all terms, all types of breeding. Look at the kind of parents that we have. Look at the kind of children that we have. Now this is happening. Imagine what could really happen in the future of our presidency. Look out and see what our society breeds right now. Look at the type of youths that we have. We're breeding. In a situation where a society has up to 90% of criminals in existence, or up to 90% of criminals as the people that make up the masses, tell me how you can expect a person of pure heart, tell me how you can expect a person with a sane mentality, tell me how you can expect a person of the right mentality to somehow emerge to become the president of this country. So before we say we did not vote him, let us understand how we truly installed him. Thank you very much. Listen, no matter how undeveloped or primitive or bad any African country is, I can almost tell that upon a day, it doesn't matter how long, most African countries would begin to elevate to development, except Nigeria. And I'll tell you why. Nigeria is a country that's futuristically, in the future, like if you are smart enough, you'll see that Nigeria is falling down the charts, while other African countries are going up the charts. And I'll tell you why. The reason is that every developed country at their point of development or through their process of development had this very quality that I am beginning to see in most African countries except Nigeria. What is that quality? The ability to boldly self-criticize themselves, the the ability to boldly self-criticize themselves. There's something my elder brother, who is a lecturer in mass communication, taught me. He said that the best books are books that are proofread, evaluated, corrected, criticized. He said the best books, the most criticized books eventually turn out to be the best books, right now. And I noticed these things. Do you know that the US still criticize themselves till date? Like Andrew Tate said, he said repetition, practice doesn't make perfect. That's exactly how he said evaluation makes perfect. And what is evaluation? Self-criticism. Now you see other parts of the world criticizing themselves, telling themselves whenever they do wrong, coming out to call themselves out. I'm beginning to see these things in other African countries. I saw it mostly in South Africa, where South Africans had the boldness to even call themselves out and call themselves xenophobia, or call themselves xenophobic, sorry, even when it is clear that what they really did was very legal. Yet some of them came out to call themselves xenophobic. But let me tell you something about Nigeria. Nigerians are the last people to call a spade a spade. They know what they do is wrong, but they will quickly come out and cover it up with sweet names, like their criminality in all the parts of the world. If the world begins to show them irritation based on their criminality, do you know what they will say? They will quickly excuse that or tell it off and say, yeah, we're being envied, we're being jealous because we're successful people. And they are so ignorant and they're so ignorant and mentally impaired on grounds that they don't even know what success is. It is only in Nigeria that I see things that are glaring at its definition being defined upside down. Like I can tell you this for free and I can cite examples, but I just want to conclude this on almost immediate facts. Do you understand the situation? So you see that Nigerians are the only people that would quickly cover up their sins just because they don't want the world to know that they're wicked. They don't want the world, and on such notes they will never evaluate themselves, so they continue giving themselves the euphoria or the false impression that they are doing good, where in fact they are wrong. You know, to prove this, there is an adage in my tribe, Igbo tribe in Nigeria, that says "Nwata anara ase na ofe nne ya te anara atọ ụtọ." It means a child never says that his mother's soup is not delicious. But I often tell them, I am that child that says that my mother's soup is not delicious when it's not delicious. You know why? Because if I can't be bold enough to tell my mother, your soup is not delicious when it's not delicious, how do you expect my mother to improve in her cooking? How do you expect her to improve in her cooking? So you see the problem with Nigeria, and this is just emphatic for every one of us. This pretty much sums up the way every Nigerian truly thinks. Do you understand? Because they will come around and tell you, what we're doing, especially when it's pointed out that they have criminal tendencies, they will simply tell you, everyone is criminal, everyone has a criminal tendency. It's not just resident with Nigeria, this is a common thing. But they will now try to excuse themselves in telling you, okay, this is not resident with this tribe, it's just a tribal thing, please do not generalize the whole statement. They're trying to make excuses. When they're found to have this very vast criminal tendency, you know what they'll say? That the world hates them. It's racism, it's xenophobia, it's just this, it's just that they envy us because wherever Nigerians, wherever Igbos go, they make a mark. Come back to Nigeria and make your mark now. Why are you traveling to other parts of the country? It is a shame. It's a shame to lie to yourself. It's unfortunate, disheartening indeed.
Welcome back. Now, I think a clip of this, justifies that. That's why when I sit down here, I don't just blab. I come out and tell you with facts and proof, right? And listening to what Chimdi had to tell us shows and emphasizes more on what I've been talking about all along. Like, if you really want to judge a country that is doing well. Now, if you look at Nigeria, you will come to understand and agree with Chimdi why he says Nigeria is far and way behind compared to where other African countries are, based on countries that are doing well in Africa, thriving regardless. Now you see why we can sit down here and say that South Africa, among some other countries, even like Ghana, name them, Rwanda, and the rest of them are doing better than Nigeria. Look at Congo, look at Burkina Faso, look at Gambia, look at other countries that are even lesser in population, lesser in mineral resources today are thriving. And let's not even talk about the population, because regardless of the population, it is not a criteria for a country not to thrive. It depends on the mindset, the character, the behavior, just like Chimdi has cited, that really depicts how a country will really do when he or she is really looked into and weighed based on statistics, based on yardsticks. Now we can come to terms with the fact that among so many other countries, there are so many things that have really limited and is still limiting us as Nigeria. right? I know there are countries that also are being affected in this way. And if you look at the major thing, there is the mindset that leads to corruption, and corruption that destroys and deteriorates a country. Now, when people sit down and tell you that you can't compare or liken South Africa, you can't liken Ghana and some other countries to Nigeria, you will come to understand. And this is not to say that for where Nigeria is today, they are really the worst. No, there's still hope, there's still room. If only Nigerians work and change their mindset. And it starts from the foundation, the smallest unit, the family, guys. Exactly. So we have a long way to go. It is definitely out of pleasure, excitement to let us know today that South Africa has a working system put in place, not just today, right from time immemorial. And this is what nurtures them to what we have them become today. Like you see their character being displayed anywhere they go on the positive. Do you want to talk about, in rephrase, what they have just shown by the young man they did, like showing support, love, kindness to humanity? Are you taking cognizance of what South Africans are doing on this channel, right? Is a living proof and evidence of their character, their behavior, their exposure, and their existence as human beings. So I don't need to scream, I don't need to prove any point to anyone to say and conclude on the fact that South Africans are exceptional and different. Like they are taking the lead in Africa. Argue with your key parts, argue with your ancestors, but it remains an indelible fact that no matter their shortcoming, they know what they want, they stand for it, they go for it, and they get it, regardless of anything whatsoever, alongside so many other countries. And it is high time, as the mouthpiece of Africa, we use our energy as Nigerians and so many other countries to work on ourselves, accept criticism, like Chivy has summed it up, accept our flaws, our mistakes, and work on it. There's nothing wrong in making mistakes. If only we can come to terms with all this, it will definitely change our mindset and build our character at the long run. Guys, they can go on and on. Sorry, you're not seeing me at this point. That's to tell you part of the challenges we have as electricity issues. I started with electricity, but I'm not ending with it, and I'm not ashamed to say that. That's why I can't sit down and end this video. Maybe except before I say bye, they will bring back the lights. But I just had to continue. These are more a part of the struggles and challenges we go through in Nigeria as creatives, as individuals, as citizens trying to live, trying to survive, trying to thrive. You don't want to talk about electricity in Nigeria as a problem. My experience here on this platform will tell you a great deal that it is a hassle and a terrible problem. Like most times you see me run my voice over, it's because I don't want to wait for the longest time before I can be responsible and active, right? I am naturally a resilient, a hardworking human being, and that's why no matter the condition, no matter what it is, I will legally do the right things and put in my effort to my work, no matter where I find myself. And this and more is a living proof to tell you that Nigeria is way behind compared to other countries. I don't even want to use South Africa as a yardstick because the difference, according to 7up, is clear. Guys, at this point, I am literally exhausted with the disappointment I get with electricity in Nigeria here. So at this point, I believe I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that despite the problems we are having in Africa, right? Despite the problems we are having with the United States, can Nigeria survive? Like, can Nigeria cope? As South Africans can pin their feet on the ground and say yes to hell, like they said to Canada, to hell with US, can they? In recent times, I did learn that the government of South Africa has invited Nigeria to join the G20 and Egypt. I don't know how factual and I don't know how definitely beneficial it's going to be for Nigeria, but I think it's a great move. Let's keep our fingers crossed and see where this journey leads, because the disadvantage that comes with cutting off aid is not a joke. Like, let's not lie, it's not a joke, it's a great deal. But there are countries that will still thrive and survive. South Africans have proven that once again, and they will continue to prove that. I know it's not going to be an easy journey for most countries, but if we begin to act and behave like countries like Burkina Faso, Niger, Gambia, that have taken it upon themselves to liberate themselves from the chains of these people, like if Trump did not do this, how would we have known that we can stand and begin to think of ways to survive? We can thrive. It's a wake-up call to every country in Africa, but I don't know where and how we're going to manage and maneuver this whole thing. But it depends on us being intentional as citizens, as leaders, to individually build our mindset, build our character, to be independent on our own. Enough of this spoon feeding, enough of the laxity and loopholes. Let's take it as a wake-up call, take it as life challenges when life throws lemons to you, and turn it to lemon, building castles with the stones thrown at us. I think is a wake-up call and a welcome development. Let's look at it from the positive angle and work with that. With that, I think we will change the narrative. Well done to every country that is thriving regardless. I pray God enables us and opens more ways, wisdom and doors for us as different countries and citizens and leaders to thrive and continue to succeed in the continent of Africa, so that at the end, no matter what others think about us as a continent, we will prove beyond every reasonable doubt, just like China controlling the world economy power, that yes, Africa can rise again, Africa can do better, and it depends on you and I. That is all for today, guys. What are your thoughts, your opinion, your input? We really touched and flogged on a lot. It took a toll on me, but I think it's worth talking about. Let me know your inputs, let me know your thoughts, your opinion, your suggestions, and let's continue in the comment section, and I will see you in my next one. But for now, keeping it real, happy, safe, and blessed. Wishing you a lovely, peaceful, a successful weekend out here on the stable of life of an African woman. Until I see you in my next one. Ciao, ciao.